Okay, folks, so here's the deal. Today you're going to see an episode of Tales from Collector's Paradise like you've never seen it before. You might have seen on the last episode, that's right, we're going to refer to him as Keith A.W.A. A guy named Keith A.W.A. hijacked my show. Well, guess what, Keith A.W.A.? I'm coming for you. It's Memorial Day, and I'm feeling a little extra surly since I've got to drive an hour and a half away to come find you. But guess what? I'm bringing something with me. That's a can of whoop-ass. And wait till you see what's inside. It's a lot more than whoop-ass, son. Keith A.W.A., Big Stevie Pump's coming for you. And that is the Big Stevie Pump guarantee. Okay, so here we are. We're going to go into Walmart on the trip to, barely Tennessee, almost Kentucky. We're going to hit this Walmart up here just to see if there's anything. I'm sure there's not. But, maybe I'll turn the camera on once I'm inside. And we'll kind of take a look at the toy section, depending on how many people's around or whatever. Anyway, hang tight. All right, so we're approaching the toy aisle here, and you hear an announcement. Let's see what Walmart doesn't have. A bunch of 12-inch figures. Scooby-Doo from the new movie Scoob. We got that. We got... Let's see, here's the wrestling section. We got an Alexa Bliss, a couple of Carmelas, and that is the alternate outfit. Like I said, I'd pulled the variant, and I showed her on my last show before it was hijacked. Anyway, Mandy Rose, and this is typical Walmart fare, folks. Seth Rollins, more Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, the same people over and over again. A couple of belts. Let's see here, a bunch of Fortnite stuff, and people play that. I don't know if they buy the figures, but they're everywhere. I guess we're going to have to walk around the corner to see if they've got any more Star Wars stuff. Or, well, I'm thinking they don't. So, all right, folks. Well, as you see, this Walmart is as pathetic as every other Walmart in the United States of America, and they don't even have any Star Wars figures. I don't even see one Star Wars figures. Walmart, shame on you. Anyway, I've had enough, folks. We got to go. Tales from Collector's Paradise, hosted by yours truly, Big Stevie Pump. I'm here for my show.
Today on Tales from Collector's Paradise, the lost episodes. Who could that be? What's going on out here? What's going on?
Surprise! It's Big Stevie Pump, the rightful and truthful owner to the Tales from Collector's Paradise franchise. That's right, folks. I had to drive an hour and a half away to barely Tennessee, almost Kentucky, to wrangle my show back from that guy, Keith A.W.A. That's right, Keith A.W.A. That's how we're going to refer to him from here on out, trying to hijack my show. Well, the joke's on you, buddy, because you're locked outside. That's right, he's outside. And I got free reign in his toy room to show anything I want to show. And man, there's some cool stuff in here. Lots of cool stuff. Trip down memory lane from the 70s, from the 80s. A very, very nice vintage toy collection. So I'm going to be very fortunate that I can show that for you guys here today. Now, real quick, you might notice the buzzed hair. That's what I had to do so I could sneak on by so I would not be recognized coming into town. This is a small town, and in small towns, people talk. So Big Stevie Pump had to change his appearance, shave, buzz the hair, swoop right on into town, swoop right on into the toy room. You saw, the trick I had to pull priceless toys. It gets them every time. A sucker like Keith, man. Keith A.W.A. Gonna fall for it every time. Wasn't even hard, folks. You seen that. How easy. Boom. Right in. And of course, I'm very spry, very swift, and I use my ninja-like skills. Maybe even more superior to Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. Enough about that, folks. You know what? We're going to see some Storm Shadows, we're going to see some Snake Eyes, and a whole lot more stuff today on Tales from Collector's Paradise, featuring Big Stevie Pump, Big Keithy Pump. He's outside. He's gots to go. Okay, and here we go. We're rolling. And here's the Inhumanoids. And I mean, look at this stuff, man. He's got so much stuff in here. And we're just going to start at the beginning. And the Inhumanoid stuff, and it even goes up onto this shelf here. Like, you know, this stuff is really cool. And I mean, I never really had any of that stuff when I was a kid. But I definitely think it's cool. And I mean, like I said, we're not necessarily going to do as an in-depth review per se. Look, there's Slave 1. There's the Bespin Cloud Car with like Lando and Lobot or whatever. I mean, that's cool. And there's Boba Fett with the Han and Carbonite and Slave 1. That's all cool stuff, man. And on up here, Millennium Falcon and Han and Chewie and stuff, and the C-3PO case. And like I said, we're going to just old Star Wars case. I had a lot of this stuff when I was a kid, and these micro machines, these were like really cool. Micro collection, rather. They're like die-cast metal, these guys are. They're really cool. I used to have a lot of those when I was a kid. And as you can see, you know, Keith A-Hole's got a very nice collection, and he's taken and he's shrink-wrapped these boxes because he's got a lot of the original boxes to his stuff. And obviously, we'll look at this Starcom stuff here. And like I said, this is kind of the room, and this G.I. Joe curtain or whatever that is on the wall there. And like I said, we've seen this first section. And man, there's so much cool stuff in here. The Rebel transport, and he's obviously taken a lot of time to amass a collection this awesome. You know, and this is a really cool room. And it's like I was watching another channel the other day talking about toy stuff, and they were saying it's always good to have a friend that's in, you know, deeper than you are, and that way you can always refer to that friend as, hey, I'm not the, you know, craziest person you know or the sickest person you know. So anyway, maybe Keith A-Hole's that guy for me. I don't know. Well, he's got a really nice collection, a nice vintage collection. And like I said, I'm just going to take some time to show it off here. He wanted to try to capture my show. Well, guess what? I done captured your whole room, dude, and locked you outside. And I'm just showing all your goodies to the world, man. You know, make me drive an hour and a half up here. Well, guess what? I'm going to get some kick-ass footage while I'm here. Look at that, the AT-AT, that's just awesome. He's got, yeah, the Wampa and all that, the scene, the Tauntauns over here, the Rebel, you know, Hoth base, that's cool. And he's got the little scene set up in the boxes, and there's like a hidden Yoda over here, and a little Yoda coffee cup. So, and this is cool down here. He's got, look at that, those little machines. I remember these the machines they had that they come out with, little mini machines or something like that. The Droid Factory, that's cool. Never had the Droid Factory as a kid. Classic. The Land Speeder, that's awesome. And then just the Tatooine playset there, and then the Sand Crawler of the Jawas. I mean, that was such an awesome toy. I mean, and like I said, it's just, he's got the boxes to most of this stuff. And we're just getting started, folks. We're just only into the Star Wars stuff. And we got quite a bit of stuff to look at. There's A.W.A. And he's got, oh, look at that. There's some blasters hidden back there. That's cool. Some of the vintage blasters. A.W.A. there. And see, work our way back on up here. We looked at a lot of this stuff up high. We'll keep on. And check out the Star Wars wallpaper in the back. Very cool. You know, he's got that going on all around the room, or there's some different versions of it that we'll see as we're moving along here. But, you know, he's got a lot of really cool stuff. And like there's the Imperial Shuttle, the box for that. I mean, you know, the Death Star. Look, even with the trash compactor with the foam trash in there, that stuff, the trash compactor monster guy. But another little Millennium Falcon there. These Rebel transports or whatever, one of them's kind of grayer than the other. I'm guessing those were different releases. And I don't know the story necessarily on all this stuff. But look at that, the Rancor, he's got the Jabba set up here, you know, Jabba's Palace, and there's the band, you know, Max Rebo band or whatever, and Lando and Skiff-Guard disguise, that's cool. And then, of course, you have Gamorrean Guard, and apparently Jedi Luke. Let's see here. And then, okay, the cantina down here. It's Greedo and some guys hanging out. Looks like I feel like that's a Battlestar Galactica guy or something, but I get why he's got those worked in. There's like a Broly or something, a couple of stormtroopers, a couple others like a Trunks and like Vegeta or something. You'll have to forgive me on my Dragon Ball Z knowledge. Some Star Trek guys. I recognize Spock there and Captain Kirk. I definitely don't know all the Star Trek guys, but there's Ewok Village I had as a kid. Very awesome. Biker Scout lurking over there. You got to watch for him. Look at that, the Batmobile, and actually he showed this on another show, the one he stole from mine, you know, and there's Night 2000. I'm going to get with the story on that in just a minute, but there's the other Batmobile, and I'm guessing the reason these are split up, I'm feeling like this is kind of a shame on you to have Batmobile and then Kit and then Batmobile. We'll kind of zoom back a little bit. That kind of seems a little bit like a shame on you. I see the sizing of the shelves, they get, you know, smaller as they go up or bigger as they go down. So maybe that's the reason why, but that seems awful shame on you-ish. But Night 2000 there, Kit. Never had that as a kid. That was always one of the ones I wanted for Christmas, and, you know, it just never happened. But that's okay. I had a lot of cool toys, obviously, but that was one I missed out on. So that's awesome to see. I actually bid on those about a year or so ago on eBay, and I lost out. Excuse me. I'm going to have to pause the video for a second and try to get some water. My voice is cracking. Okay, so here's the deal. You know, I went to the refrigerator to get something, and this is what I come up with. Sam's Cola. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's the shame on you of all shame on yous. There's been a lot of shame on yous in show history. Sam's Cola, that's going to be right there toward the top of shame on you-ness. I'm going to tell you that right now. So anyway, I'm probably just rather be parched for life than drink Sam's Choice Cola, so we're going to move on and get back to the toy review, but Sam's Choice, shame on you. Okay, and we're back after the Sam's Choice Cola there fiasco, and there's me a reflection in the mirror, but check this out, you know, and he's got, like I said, this is all the original Star Wars guys, and if you notice there's Blue Snaggletooth, and that's, you know, there's the little maroon Snaggletooth, and that was the more commonly released one, and then there's the Blue Snaggletooth, and that's a little bit taller, and that one's like more sought after. And my cousin Davey, who's a Star Wars aficionado, and he's a big time Star Wars collector, there's 2 figures he's missing. One of them, the Blue Snaggletooth. The other one, I'm gonna wait till I stumble across him. I know he's in here, so I already see him, I think. So we'll get into him in a minute. But there's, you know, you can see, and a lot of these he has duplicates of, because there's Boba Fett again, and obviously you've seen him over there in that other section. So he's got duplicates of some of these so he can build his scenes and everything. And there is Yak Face, who's another one of the rare ones. That's probably the most sought after Star Wars figure there is. You know, it's, you know, obviously that's debate. I don't know. There's the missile firing Boba Fett, I guess. That's the real McCoy. But in the background, there's a Indiana Jones and a German soldier Indiana Jones. That's cool. That red robot, I can't remember what that is, but it's something there. And then, anyway, a lot of the Skiff Guard guys, and of course the Star Trek guys that we've seen before, but that's pretty cool. You know, like I said, he's got a good run of Star Wars figures, and then coming back over there, Alien versus Predator on the top, and we kind of looked at this rack some, but there's a couple of the Chuck Norris Ninja guys, and there's like Rambo, the evil guy there from Rambo. But, you know, like I said, we went through some of these a minute ago, but the Night, you know, Kit 2000, always wanted as a kid, never got it. It's cool to see that here. And then here's the G.I. Joe stuff, and we'll start at the bottom here. And, you know, this is really, you know, a really nice collection of G.I. Joe, as is all this stuff that we're showing here. Really take a lot of time to put all this together, and the miscellaneous shelving racks that have been acquired and placed, you know, organized in here to fit to make the perfect puzzle. And this is a a really cool shelf here with all the, let's get a close-up in here, Serpentor and all them. There's Crocmaster, and like I said, I'm not going to, Big Boa, Dr. Mindbender, so I'm not going to name them all, but there's Destro, Major Blood, Baroness, Cobra Commander, Tomax and Samon, I mean, Storm Shadow, Firefly, there's the Dreadnought guys, I mean, Zartan, Wild Weasel, I mean, it's all the cool guys. I had, pretty much all that stuff when I was a kid. Anyway, a lot of really cool stuff and a real cool trip down memory lane. There's the His Tank, a lot of cool stuff, man. And I mean, and wait till you see something that's over here in the floor in just a minute. It has to be in the floor because it's so ridiculous. And there's the Star Wars curtains, and then we talked about the Star Wars wallpaper, but that's a different Star Wars wallpaper. And there we got Wild Bill there. Had that as a kid. That was always cool. And then the base, the G.I. Joe headquarters, I love that. And this is actually pretty smart, if you notice there. I'm going to give Keith some kudos on that. He cut out a piece of cardboard to the form of the base because it hangs off the shelf a little bit. That's pretty smart. And like I said, anybody that's got a collection like this, obviously, they've taken a lot of time with it. They really care about it. It's really important to them, and it should be because this stuff is awesome. And I mean, it's this vintage stuff, it's really driving the marketplace now. And that's the reason that the toys industry is what it is today, is because all the awesome toys that we had in the 80s, all the cool stuff that was coming out, the cartoons. I mean, they literally would make, toy lines and then make cartoons, revolving around those toy lines. I mean, that's how big things were in the 80s. And that's why anybody that's in their, mid to late 30s and on into their 40s is going to be into this stuff, for the most part. And look at all this cool He-Man stuff. And like I said, there's another Millennium Falcon. Seems a little bit out of place. That seems a little bit shame on you-ish there. And then there's like a little Frisbee. So there's a few Star Wars pieces in here. I don't know. It's like Star Wars is infiltrating the closet. You can't really see that stuff as good. But I don't know. I feel like I really like Castle Grayskull here, showing all the stuff that's hard to get. When you're looking for Castle Grayskull online, a lot of these pieces are the pieces that's tough to get, and it'll drive the money, and the chair and the stickers and all that. So I get showing that, but at the same time, the front of it's so cool. Kind of seems a little shame on you-ish. I don't know. We're going to give you a quick shame on you, Keith, for that. Keith A.O. Anyway, but that's cool. It's, look at this Captain Power. And this is one of those weird things that kind of a niche market. There's probably, not a ton of Captain Power fans, but at the same time, it's not that this stuff is necessarily going to go for a ton of money. It probably does. I don't even know what this is currently going for on eBay, but it's rare, and some things that are just rarer than their price tag indicates, because, maybe there's not as many people that are into them. That Godzilla's cool. He's missing his arm there, but my cousin Davey had one of those as a kid too. There's Clash of the Titans. That's cool. But, some of this stuff, it's just not out there. And each year that passes, more of this stuff gets thrown away, gets in yard sales, attics. You just never know what's going to happen. Look at that Buck Rogers stuff. That's pretty cool. You just never know what's going to happen. Here's the Pterodome. It's really cool. So there's so much stuff in here. And let's go across these He-Man vehicles. Really, really cool stuff. Really cool Masters of the Universe collection. And that's what I was talking about. A new set of these Masters of the Universe classics are coming out, or Origins rather. The classics is the high-end, expensive line that's out now that they charge you an arm and a leg for. But the Origins are coming out pretty soon. And G.I. Joe's actually got a new line coming out, like what we've talked about. Now, let's go ahead and do the reveal of the U.S.S. Flagg. Now, I'm going to tell you what. Yes, folks, it's every bit as ridiculous as you may think. And look at that. You cannot even get it into one shot. The U.S.S. Flagg. And that, folks, is easily a $1,500 to $2,000 toy, easily, because it's complete. It's got all the pieces. I mean, you're not going to touch one of those for under that, really. I mean, it's, if you're ever even lucky enough to see one or know anybody that has one, it's such an impressive thing. I mean, that's the Sky Striker, folks. And look, it's got that, plus big helicopters, other planes on it. I mean, this thing is ridiculous. It's 7 feet long, if I remember correctly. Only as a kid, the only person I knew that had one, Andy Hatch. I'm going to give you a shout out there, Mr. Andy Hatch. But I don't ever remember him letting me play with it. I'd go over there and hang out and stuff, but it always just kind of stayed in the corner, and this is such a massive piece. It's like a Holy Grail piece, and kind of like what we talked about the snaggletooth, and we talked the blue snaggletooth and the yak face. This Flagg is every bit. I mean, it's obviously even going to be a pricier piece. I mean, you got to be a dedicated collector to own a U.S.S. Flagg, because it's just, the size of it. You literally have to have a room dedicated to having toys, like this room right here. And I mean, that's an impressive piece. We're going to keep moving on. Here's another impressive piece. I mean, he's got all these really cool G.I. Joe pieces, as well as other stuff. Let's see the Hall of Justice. How awesome is that? The Super Friends stuff. He's even got, Brainiac, Lex Luthor. He's got the ships and, even some of the comics there. But Aquaman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Robin, Flash, Hawkman, Joker, Penguin. It's cool. Then another Batman. That Batmobile there. I mean, really cool stuff. Now, this M.A.S.K stuff, I'll tell you what, is really awesome. This was always one of my favorites when I was a kid, and he's got the boxes. I mean, like I said, he's got it all shrunk wrapped there. He's running commercials here. Let's see, let's not show that too much. I don't want to get in trouble for no copyright infringement, but he keeps commercials running at all times of old cartoons, and toy advertisements. Pretty cool. A pretty cool thing to have going on in your toy room. Uh-oh. Hold on. We're going to, let's just pause this video for just 1 second here. All right, so here's the deal. I noticed that he had 2 of these. Well, for all my troubles, all the crap he's put me through over the last week or so, I think I'm just going to take this. I'm going to take this back to Nashville and put it in my room, Collector's Paradise. You don't even deserve to have 2 of these. So here's another shame on you, Keith A. for having 2 of these. You try to act like you didn't have this. You've been holding out on me, and I come over here, and you got 2 of them. Well, guess what? Now you don't. We'll find a placeholder or something. We're going to try to figure out some way to make it not seem so obvious that I've taken this. Let's hold on a minute. All right, there we go. He'll probably be none the wiser. All we did was slid this over a little bit, and then we put this Ric Flair. I noticed he had down here, he has another Ric Flair where this steel cage was at. So A.W.A. steel cage. There was an extra Ric Flair hanging out in there in addition to this Ric Flair. So I decided that we'll move him up there. There's the fabulous ones. Mr. Electricity Steve Regal. Jerry the Crusher Blackwell, Stan Hansen, a lot of cool ones. There's Kurt Hennig, folks. Look at that, the first Kurt Hennig figure, A.W.A. And believe it or not, that's Scott Hall next to him, which, Razor Ramon, that's him right there, the first ever Razor Ramon figure, but back when he was Scott Hall, the Freebirds, those were always one of my favorites. And that right there is some of the heat for this line. There's Shawn Michaels, you know what a troublemaker he is, to the right, and Marty Jannetty to the left with the shirts. I mean, those are a couple $100 a piece normally. Very nice. And then there's the Road Warriors with Paul Ellering with the Road Warrior shirt, the cloth Road Warrior shirt. One of the Thumbsters. And that Playboy Buddy Rose is a pretty rare figure. And there's the Hulk Hogan. That's the first Hulk Hogan figure that was ever produced. I actually have a couple of those myself. But very nice. Now, he doesn't do a lot of wrestling. And obviously I do a lot of wrestling. But that's okay. But he's got those. And those were always some of my favorites as a kid. But getting back to this M.A.S.K stuff. And here's the very impressive Boulder Hill sealed shrunk wrap. And he's got Rhino, a couple of Thunderhawks back there, Gator, Condor, more Thunderhawks, or the box rather for Thunderhawk, Rhino and T-Bob and all them. So that's cool, Boulder Hill base. And this was always one of my favorites as a kid. I loved it. And some of this stuff down here, where that buzzard, where that split and everything, some of this was a little bit later in the line. Some of it's a little bit tougher to get. But I had all the boxes to my M.A.S.K toys. And sadly, I had to part ways with my M.A.S.K collection some years ago. And I'm not going to get into the very sad details of it all. But it was a sad day for me. And maybe one day I will reacquire them. Keith don't play his cards right. That's Keith A. we're talking about. I may just take all his M.A.S.K stuff. You never know if we don't start acting right. But anyway, I'm looking to reacquire some of this stuff, you know, and some of my childhood memories. But this stuff is way awesome, and we're kind of almost through making it around here. And, you know, I appreciate the opportunity to be able to come and show all this stuff, you know, and I don't have a lot of this vintage stuff, and this is really cool stuff to show. And here's this Starcom, and, you know, a lot of this, you know, Keith A.W.A, he's got a channel, and he shows some of this stuff, and he's got a lot of obscure lines, and I think, you know, he kind of likes having that. Obviously, he's got Star Wars and G.O. That's not G.I. Joe and Star Wars. That's not obscure, but like this Starcom stuff and the Captain Power and what I'm about to show you here in just a second around the front. This is like these warrior beasts, and you know, he did a review on these, like a guide to collecting them, because there's not a lot of info out there, but he's put some info out there, some good info. Get a chance, check it out. Check him out on Instagram, Keith's Toy Collecting Craze. We're gonna, you know, his YouTube channel, maybe not, you know, Keith Allen's how you can find him on YouTube. I don't know if he's gonna come up with some snazzy name. We'll give him a quick shame on you for not having a snazzy name, but there's the Pirates of the Galaxies there, and you know, some of this Conan stuff, and there's Warlord, and those are cops down below. There's a RoboCop actually in the front, and the cops line like back in behind there, those other guys. But there's another quick pan over to the M.A.S.K. I think we showed all that, but never hurts to hit the M.A.S.K. stuff again, I assure you that. But anyway, a lot of really cool stuff here. And as you can tell, you know, this is a double shelf here to fit Boulder Hill on. That's pretty impressive. You had to, I really like the way he did this. And that's the thing. Collectors a lot of times have to come up with innovative ways to showcase their merchandise. And when you get new merchandise, it's a constant battle of, you know, where are you going to put all this stuff? But it's a never-ending battle, folks. But I'd say that Keith A.W.A, despite him being an undeniable jerk sometimes, especially in this situation, the matter at hand, he's done a pretty nice job of compiling a very awesome toy collection. So we'll tip our hat to him for that. All right. So, guys, I hope you really enjoyed today's show. I had a lot of fun coming up here, you know, to almost Kentucky, barely Tennessee, and, you know, getting a chance to showcase Keith A.W.A.'s toy room. But anyway, so I didn't get a chance to point this out in the video, but I noticed it, but I was saving it for the final segment. So check this crap out. Talk about some nerve, the audacity of this guy. He's getting packages addressed, I guess, to me, to my show, sent here to his house. This is something. And I mean, this guy, we already know there's some shady things about him. There's, I don't know, missing comic book collection things that have been brought up in the past. I don't know. This guy, not sure he can be trusted. I mean, he stole my show. He's doing all this. He's stealing, you know, I don't know. You don't know about this guy. Anyway, stealing packages. Let's see what's in here. So, let's open her on up. It's got some cardboard packing in here. Uh-oh, okay. Here's some Micro Machine stuff. Okay, that's pretty cool. A little 3-pack of Micro Machine stuff. Yeah. He's probably going to miss this. This would have looked nice on his shelf, but now it's going to look nice on my shelf. It's another Micro Machines 3-pack. Let's see. Okay, that's a little Star Wars care package. Oh, or this is a DC Comics of Supergirl. Okay, this is kind of cool. This is from the 90s. All right. What do we got here? Okay, look inside. I actually used to have this book, Heir of the Empire by Timothy Zahn. I read this, excuse me. Okay, and it's actually got some miniatures in there. Cool. That's actually pretty cool. But yeah, this Heir to the Empire, this used to be canon, you know, but I don't know that it is now. I'm not even sure that since Disney's got it, what's canon or what's not. Here's another one here we can open up. Yeah, another couple, some other more Micro Machine guys, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, canon, like I said, who knows what's even canon in Star Wars anymore since Disney's got it. Oh yeah, and this little bonus piece here, the mini masher. So you had 2 of these, not anymore. That's, you know, price of doing business, making me come all this way. So it's going in the bottom of the Star Wars care package. Oh yeah, and hold on, there's one more thing. So I didn't even have to use the can of whoop-ass So what's in here is just going to remain a mystery because this operation went so seamless, so smooth, I didn't even have to bust out the can of whoop-ass. So that's awesome. Pretty decent score here today. So you know what, guys? Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting. You know, sorry you had to see this side of Big Stevie Pump, especially on Memorial Day, but I had to come back, come up here and get my show back. And that's what you've just witnessed. And that's the Big Stevie Pump guarantee. I will stop at no ends to deliver the best product to you. Well, Keith A-Hole, I got my show back. And you know what? I didn't even have to use my can of whoop-ass. Anyway, see you around, dude. I hope you liked what was in the box.
Priceless toys?